Hello and welcome to the CIS YouTube channel. My name is Alexander Philipatos and I'm a policy analyst here at the Centre. I'm here today to talk about my new report, Back to the Bad Old Days, Industrial Relations Reform in Australia. Industrial relations reform has been a contentious issue since the Howard government introduced its work choices reforms in 2005. But since the Labor government replaced work choices with its Fair Work Act in 2009, many business and industry leaders have complained about an increasingly inflexible labour market. So how far have we come in reforming Australia's labour market? Well, my research into the issue reveals that the story is mixed. On the one hand, today's labour market is much more flexible than it was 2 decades ago. The old, highly regulated system of compulsory arbitration has given way to enterprise bargaining. In 1990, roughly half the workforce had their pay and conditions set by the awards. By 2010, this figure had reduced to about 15%. Also, 80% of workers now have their pay and conditions set by collective or individual agreements. Strike action has declined markedly since the reform process began. From the mid-1980s until 1993, the average strike rate was about 54 workdays lost per 1,000 workers. Since 1993, that average has reduced 75%. This has been a very significant success story of the reform era. And it owes itself, those figures are a result of effective rules regarding industrial action, most of which are retained under the Fair Work Act. On the other hand, in several indicators, the Fair Work Act has made the labour market more inflexible. The bargaining system ensures the unions have a place at the bargaining table, even in cases where the level of union membership is quite low and the employer prefers direct relations with its employees. This is out of step with the low level of unionisation across the economy at large and makes the bargaining process much more cumbersome than it otherwise would be. Also, unfair dismissal laws have broadened and predictably claims have risen. But perhaps more worrisome is the unfair dismissal process, whereby increasingly employers are complaining about a need to pay go-away money in order to avoid a costly court hearing, regardless of the merits of the case. Successive labour market reforms have sought to increase labour market flexibility. And although it's not back to the bad old days, the Fair Work Act has, on most indicators, reversed this trend.